Hey people, Intrid here, 3v3 faction war. This is Estia Province and Imperial Guard versus the Eldar. For the Blue Guard team, Deimos is a Lord Commissar. Strong offense and support fighting in melee begins with a refractor shield, can shoot his own fellas in the head, alongside Inakura as an Inquisitor. Offensive hero with powerful control abilities, begins in melee but can get specialized ranged weapons. Looks like Mordian. No, it's not. It's not Mordian Iron Guard. One of the Cadian schemes, I guess, recolored white. Rounding off the blue team here, LunaticRed as a Lord General, fighting in ranged combat with a retinue of stormtroopers. Really strong defense and support, can also add to the retinue over time. Did not finish that cap there. Red Eldar team, the Tenso with a Warlock, a melee spellcaster that leaps into combat. Some powerful disruption and support alongside Mostafa with a Farseer, support hero fighting in melee. Some powerful buffs and control. Exarch elite scheme here. And rounded off the teams, DanceCommander in retreat with a Warp Spider Exarch, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat. Great for capping and harassing. Some powerful control. Looks like they are being pushed off the east side. What's going on mid though? Farseer is going after the Inquisitor. Guardians creating some space to shoot. 2v1 against Mostafa now though. Inquisitor may need to run soon. No, she stays in play. Stabs a Guardian and then runs. Over on the west side, it's going to turn red for the Tenso. Pushing up their units a bit here to create some space for the cap. Howling Banshees going for the contested wreck point western edge. Sentinel took a beating. So did LunaticReds, but they've survived. Did their job. They'll often be the focus of early armies for the Imperial Guard. Soaking up damage, leading the line, stomping on fools, and occasionally shooting them. Although their gun always looks hilariously inaccurate. Meanwhile, this is the Tenso now rotating mid. Need to be careful of their flank there. Double Guardians on the east side from DanceCommander into a Guardian weapon team. Shuriken cannon on that by default. West side, some pew pew for the Banshees to deal with. They just run. I guess they can't really approach that. Sentinel does not have the ground pound yet. Guardian weapon team setting up. That Shuriken cannon doing work to the Sentinel there. We may see the Commissar trying to get around. As you can see, there is space in the firing arc. Eldar establishing a midpoint on the map now. Hammer of the Witches. Cracks the Shuriken. Guardians moving up to support. And they're able to make her back off. Shurikens are really going to allow them to create a ranged base, I think, the Eldar. But these guys getting caught out by a heavy bolter. Now the Shuriken here is isolated. Might need some support from DanceCommander, who gets a bit too far forward with the Warp Spider Exarch. What is this smoke over here? Oh, it's from the artillery spotters, I think. And then they just popped a mortar shell in there. Eldar overextends slightly. Aggressively trying to get onto the power. Just mistimed that little push from the double Guardians, Mostafa, and got caught in a bad spot. I don't think he knew that the heavy weapons squad was there. Catachan Devils on the field. They'll be a great help countering the Banshees. Just saw the Warlock do a massive jump, leap into those Catachans. We have Champions robe up. Banshees doing some good work. Need to be careful. War shouting and flee. Catachans also flee. Did not drop a model. Banshees did drop a model. Commissar throws up the shield. Warlock maybe looks at the VP. Guardians capping eastern power. Nobody's really been able to push through on the sides, aside from the very start when LunaticRed pushed through here. So Commissar going in, using the shield to bully the Guardians, really. Shuriken's going to set up and maybe force him to retreat. Shield wasn't up earlier. They took a bunch of health damage there. Champion's robe helps the Warlock get that cap. It's going to be decapped immediately, I think. Well, Commissar still in play. Oh, not for long. 467 to 499. Towards the mid now. Eldar maybe opened up a push because the Lord General's off the field. And so are those guardsmen. Can they get a power bash now? Meanwhile, this is LunaticRed spotters. They could get a shell on the double Guardians or maybe on the Shuriken. Maybe all three if DanceCommander positions them poorly. They're biding their time for now. It's not the best power bashing force for DanceCommander. And now they're getting flanked by Sentinel and 4 guardsmen hanging out here. And here comes a heavy weapon squad. Inakura with the assist, and I think all these guys need to retreat. I've got half a gen down. Whoops, for Exarch comes in to tie things up in melee. Pretty effective, has improved targeters and the heavy gauge death spinner. Here come more shurikens from Mostafa. Double shurikens into rangers. Heavy tier 1 here for the Farseer. Huge pressure though. It's a lot for the blue Imperial Guard to deal with. Tier 2s all round on the blue guard team. Tier 2s for the Tenso and DanceCommander as well. West side is uncapped, I see. What is this? This is a cheeky little flank maybe from Deimos. Coming from the western side. There's heavy gauge though. Shuts down that Lord Commissar. Those guys having to back off. I think it was worth trying a little push there. I guess whenever someone's pushing up and forced to retreat, you could call it an overextension, but I think they backed that up well and had a little go. And nothing was really lost, so they didn't overextend a huge amount. West side turns red for the Eldar. Lord Commissar throws up the shield. Very low on health though. Guardians trying to split, those guys having to retreat. Shuriken trying to set up. And the Lord Commissar spotted it. Sentinel backs off again. Banshees also back off, trying to draw them into the Shuriken. Sentinel gets repairs. They have the VP. Something coming from here is Catechins. Warlock goes straight after them. Maybe? Yes. Ran behind them for a second. Banshees are also here. Looking at disruption from the Warlock, setting up that Banshee push. We now have Missile Launcher Sentinel for Deimos. Catechins are okay. Can they push power now? Banshees really help you power bash as Eldar early on. Meanwhile, through the mid, a Chimera is here. Support vehicle for the guard. Can reinforce and transport infantry. And infantry inside can shoot the turrets on the edges of the Chimera there for more firepower. Right lance is set up for DanceCommander. It's getting low on hit points though. Getting some decent shots. This is an anti-vehicle upgrade for the Shuriken cannon. Warps for the Exarch. Enhanced warp jump generator is on. Can they get away? Haven't gained a level yet, which is surprising because they should be pumping out a lot of DPS with this loadout here. Being able to kill guardsmen pretty quickly. Doom bring it up for the Farseer. Down goes the Sentinel. I'm sure Doom was on it, but I didn't see. Guardians with their Warlock allows them to use Embolden. There it is. Improving their combat effectiveness. I think it's a damage resistance and damage output buff, I believe. At least it used to be. Falcon on the field for the Tenso. Much like the Chimera, it's a support vehicle for the Eldar. Packs a bit more firepower than a Chimera though, can actually damage vehicles. And you don't get any extra firepower for putting units inside of it. Taking some missile shots though. Cracked missiles from the Sentinel. Guardians are a repair unit, so they go into repair. Here comes another missile Sentinel. Falcon under pressure. Very much under pressure. Shuriken may take the garrison here. Going to be disrupted. Super disrupted. And Inquisitor with Inferno Pistol. We also have Liber Heresius. Help her power all those abilities. 364 to 499 on the VPs. Good push on the west for the guard. It's up to Mostafa. Mostafa needs to play this carefully now. They're 2 versus 1, but they do have an advantageous flanking position on a bunch of stuff. They get rid of this las cannon here. Guardsmen out in the open are a tempting target. Let us drag them away from this flank here. Oh, heavy turret dropped in by LunaticRed. These heavy turrets have vehicle armor, so it's not easy to take them down with the small arms. Why are these guys getting debuffed? Oh, Inspire Terror. Inspire Terror is in. Banshees with Banshee Exarch on the way. There she is, popping up with her spear. Warlock, Witchblade of Kernus coming up. Okay, it's going to be painful for any guardsman spots they can get to. Eventually, they're going to take out this heavy turret. It's not easy, though. There we go. That Bright Lance actually reinforced off the Falcon, but it did retreat anyway. Farseer puts Guide on herself, now has Rune Armor, and the Ghost Helm from Mind War. 363 to 463 on the VPs. These mines are dropped here by the Lord Commissar from his global bar. What is this? That's Ogrins. Just smashing a power generator apart with their guns, because why not? Looks like we have a medical sergeant from the Lord General. Looks like they've already given a, there we go, medical pack to the Ogrins who just used it. And the grenade launchers are in play. Ouch. That's fire dragons getting pummeled to death. Grenade hurt them too. Also hurt the Ogrins. Actually get into base turrets there. Wonder if we'll see Dark Reapers. One of the reasons Dark Reapers was added to the game is because of Ogrins. 363 to 458 on the VPs. Huge battle on the west side. Falcon supporting all this stuff with reinforcement. I just saw Excruciators on those Howling Banshees, I believe. But the Inquisitors run off. Lord Commissar goes down. Looks like a good fight for the Eldar. Can the Farseer get away though? Sorry, the Warlock. The Warlock, I think, is alright. If the Catechins meleeed him there, he may not have got away. Rangers. Rangers look like they're also going to get away. A bunch of weapon teams. You don't have any jump troops as Imperial Guard. Are there any infantry in the lore that have jump packs for the Guard now? I wonder. Or Astra Militarum as they're called. Do they have like special Tempestus Scions or something with jump packs and melter guns or something like that? That'd be cool. Kashyyykin on the way for Deimos. 333 to 458. Decent VP lead for the Eldar team, but nothing drastic. There's some tier 3s. Inakura and DanceCommander. Deimos already there, of course. Getting up the Kashyyykin. Eldar with an aggressive footing. Doesn't look like they're pushing too hard for the power. Tenso having a little go here. Almost got that Inquisitor down. They have thrown the Judgment down on the Guardians. Down goes the Falcon. Lascannon getting it done. Almost gets taken out. Does get taken out. But they got the Falcon down. Could be a big deal. Now these guys can't reinforce in the field. Stormtroopers trying to sneak up and grenade, but the Rangers at the front of the army able to spot them there. Held Fury Strike dropped in. Here are the Kashyyykin, and they've gone grenade launchers for now. And they killed a Shuriken with a grenade. The grenade launchers give them knockback from each grenade they launch. And they can also chuck a grenade, as you saw, that they can freely switch their specialized weapons though, which is pretty awesome for those fellas. More tier 3s coming in. Looks like the LunaticRed is going to be the last player in tier 2. They are actually floating a lot now. They are focusing a lot on microing their Ogrins and pressuring this power, it seems like. 280 to 458 on the VPs. Ogrins just shrugging off all of this piercing PvP damage here. Fire Dragons will do really well against them, but they have to get relatively close. Which is a bad idea with Ogrins. Hence, we have Dark Reapers, but no sign of them yet. DanceCommander maybe wants to get a Fire Prism up instead. Warp Spiders, of course, can do well in frustrating these guys. But once they teleport once, the Ogrins can typically catch them and tear them apart. Meanwhile, Inquisitor has put Judgment over there and actually gets to fire it. Don't get to see that very often. That was awesome. She's level 3. Looks at Excruciators on the Guardians, but they run anyway. There's Guide on the Catechins. Not a huge amount of firepower to take advantage of it though there. Banshee's coming in a little bit late. There's a web weight on the west side, but whose is it? It is the Tenso's, which means it can heal a little bit. The Warlock's one heals. I always thought they were a little bit mismatched, but maybe that's... well, it's obviously intended. But I thought the Farseer one would be the one to heal. The Warlock would be the one to give... it would like give speed. And then the Warp Spider one would give energy or infiltration or something. But as it stands, the Farseer one infiltrates, the Warlock one heals, and the Warp Spider one gives energy, I think. Autark on the field for the Tenso. Force shield on the way, which is good for her because she often just dies a lot. Who's this? It's the Warlock running up to the VP into an improvised explosive. Throws up the Champion's Robe, but it's not enough. Not enough to save him. Got some Catechins for Inokura. Not easy to recognize them with this Cadian scheme. Maybe they're just Cadians that have been taught by Catechin devils or something. So where's your bandanas, fellas? Stormblade on the way for Deimos. Kashyyykin hit the field for LunaticRed. Leman Russ on the way for... sorry, Stormblade for Inokura. Leman Russ for Deimos. Got a couple of Seer Council up all of a sudden. Making these infantry armies much more scary. Seer Council leap into combat with power melee weapons, a decent chunk of hit points, and they passively buff themselves and nearby allies with ranged damage resistance. There's a Psychic Storm. Makes the Catechins flee. Inquisitor tries to revive. Rangers say no. But there's those Excruciators shutting down those Seer Council. And then they flee. And there's the revive. And a level 4 Inquisitor level 4 now. What's going on east side? Ogren's still doing fantastic work, but here comes the Seer Council, and they will put up a hell of a fight against Ogryns. They will tear them apart 1v1, but of course it's very rarely 1v1 in Dawn of War 2, so we'll see what LunaticRed can do here. Ogryns are staying in. Did really well. The Seer Council are getting knocked over constantly by these grenade launchers here. They were still able to kill 2 of the Ogryns and lost 2 models. But yeah, those grenade launchers are going to help out a lot against those Seer Council. Might be a good idea to get the Warp Spider to teleport in on those guys and tie them up so they can't fire those grenade launchers. Maybe a bit of an overextension here. They were trying to bash power. Perhaps they found a Leman Russ. Big retreat from the Tenso. Autark with her fusion gun also has to run. That bunker barely holding on, being repaired, and here comes the Stormblade from Inokura. Massive plasma blast gun. Huge AoE damage to all targets. But its maneuverability isn't great. It can't turn that turret because it's so big. Stormtroopers, have you been forgotten about, fellas? Or are you looking for a grenade? They're trying to infiltrate, yeah, to get close for a grenade, I think. So the blue team are going to take the west side back.
Order, sir.
Artillery spotters have their tier 3 upgrade there, the heavy mortar cannon. East side, Ogryns be capping. No sign of Bullgryns yet. Just got a heal from their medical sergeant. And forward capping spotters here too. Everything of DanceCommander healing up in base. I thought they wanted a fire prism to disrupt the Ogryns, but they wanted a Seer Council to just fight them, which worked out. Destructor in on the Stormtroopers looking for a retreat grenade. There it is. A little bit early. They got a kill with it, that's alright. Triple cap now for the guard. All the way through here, the Lord General has almost a full retinue. They're just missing the Vox operator guy. They have the Commissar, which gave him that big shield you saw. And of course, they still have that medical sergeant. Here comes a Leman Russ of LunaticRed. Vanquisher is in. excellent at taking on other vehicles, so we most likely won't see a fire prism now, I would think. It's a bit too late with the Leman Russes already rolling, because they will destroy a fire prism pretty easily. Oh, we got one here. We have a fire prism for Mostafa. When did that come up? We'll see how long it lasts. Already took a couple of shots, I think. Just, it can't trade with the Leman Russ. It needs to stay at absolute maximum range and have some support. But it can disrupt in ways a Leman Russ can't. The Tenso also getting a fire prism, even though Deimos has a Vanquish Leman Russ on this side. And there's a Stormblade. I'm surprised to see a fire prism on the way there. And what else do they get? I think they get a Bright Lance and ask for assistance over here from Mostafa. Stormtroopers being sneaky, going for a decap. Eldar are massing in the mid. The Tenso's fire prism is up. Kashyyykin up for Inakura. Kashyyykin on the way for LunaticRed now too. Didn't LunaticRed have some already? I forget. Seer Council need to apply a lot of pressure really quickly. They're trying to push the army back. Chopping up Kashyyykin right now. Inakura not paying attention, maybe. But they're trying to get back to the bunker and reinforce, but I think they died. Yeah, they died. Needed to get moving a lot earlier. That was an awesome little push then from the Seer Council. Look at the fire there soaking up here. Even push back the Leman Russ. Now the fire prism's coming forward. There is a Bright Lance with guide on it. But the damage they're doing to the Stormblade here, it's a huge amount. Leman Russ needs to get out front and put some damage in. Yeah, as soon as the Leman Russ gets a shot on, they rethink their little push there. Avatar of Cain on the way for DanceCommander. There's Use Your Red to disrupt the Seer Council, but once they get up, they're going to do huge amounts of DPS to the Ogryns. But again, we see disruption. What was it that time? Oh, was it spotters calling in the shell? Kashyyykin are back here. Yeah, LunaticRed definitely had some grenade launcher Kashyyykin at some point. 146 to 286 on the VPs. West side is blue for now. 2-1 cap. There's that big plasma blast gun shot. It can do an overcharge shot, which shuts down the Stormblade, which you may have spotted a bit earlier. There's the infiltrating webway of Mostafa's Farseer, level 4. 2 Bright Lances here. Between Doom and Guide on the Bright Lance, they got a huge amount of damage. They can throw out one of these vehicles. I'm not sure what the Farseer is doing there though. That was very strange. Was she looking for the Stormblade to put Guide on maybe? They got a decap. The guard pushed through the mid. And the two fire prisms, sorry, still stand, or still float. Avatar is up now. Super unit for Eldar. Powerful combatant. Big chunk of hit points, and it passively buffs nearby allies to huge amounts. Allied infantry, to be exact. You've got Seer Councils and Avatar buffs going. You can get some really scary Eldar melee blobs going. Throwing the Autarch maybe as well for her buffs, because she has a passive 15% buff as well, I think, of resistance. The Tenso down to 2 units. Mostafa all of a sudden down. Oh, I missed the rocket run here, I think. Completely missed the rocket run. Great. 146 to 198. Heavy turret is twitching out over there. Looks like it was Deimos's rocket run. The first good one they hit, it says there. Inakura with a Stormtrooper squad on the way. Another fire prism for Mostafa. Guess I've done well so far. Shows how much I know. Inquisitor going after it with an Inferno Pistol, but they get disrupted. Purgatus goes in. Avatar does not care about your Purgatus, but she flees. And the Eldar get back onto the west side after those heavy losses. Where are the Eldritch Storms? Have I missed one? DanceCommander can drop one. You can tell when there's been an Eldritch Storm because there's a big swirl left on the ground. You can see it. Constant repairs for that Storm Blade. Ouch. Here comes LunaticRed with an assist on the west side. Double cap for the Imperial Guard. Gonna be a triple. Eldar pinned back here. These fire prisms really need to pull their weight. There's 3 of them on this side. They've got to do something. Avatar leading the line. Bunch of Seer Council and other infantry coming in. That fire prism's getting low over there. Purgatus. Avatar with a Wailing Doom. They're going to take down the heavy turret. Avatar should have gone straight for the Stormblade, I think. I think it wanted to stay near this here council for the buffs, to give them buffs. Here come the Ogrins. There's Wrath of Cain. Ogrin's trying to move off and it's retreat in the end. Eldritch Storm. Eldritch shuts down those vehicles. Nothing really to follow it up, though. The fire prisms did not go and follow it up. Eld Fury. Yeah, I think he killed something. I think he killed some Guardians there. I think that was a Guardian Warlock. Still with a triple cap. Singularity. There we go. Forces a retreat if nothing else. D-cannons getting shots. All the right lances were dealt with the nuke, I guess. Eldritch. I think they're going to get the Stormblade down here. Maybe. Yes, Stormblade is down. But they're down to 4 VPs. Need to get their natural under control. Avatar's very, very low. Just murdered something. Warlock is on it. Kashyyyk in there to disrupt, but the Champion's Robe is in play. See, Council scared them off. Demon Russ. Oh, being chased. Crack shot on the Fire Dragons. Maybe. Can they get it? They're still chasing, but Ogrins are there now. They're trying. They still got that crack shot, giving them extra range and damage. But they did not want to keep chasing. Now they're shooting the Ogrins. Ogrins messed up the Seer Council pretty well there. Level 4 Ogrins with Leman Russ support, eh? Eldar have the 2-to-1. Here comes a Bane Blade for LunaticRed. Rangers for the Tenso. They have double D cannons here. Another Eldritch. Could not quite get that Leman Russ though.
Let's get to it.
Warlock leaping in. Good disruption. What level is this guy? Level 4. Farseer level 6. Lord Commissar level 3. Does have the Emperor's Wrath. 101 to 4 Rangers, says Inakura. Yes, there are Rangers. What is this? It's a VP turning blue is what it is. Avatar falls over. Explodes, which does knockback, which I like. Looks like the blue team are going to get it. There's the 2-to-1 cap. And that's going to be game for Imperial Guard. The tanks got it done. And so apparently did a rocket run that I completely missed. Because I suck. Awesome stuff. Let's look at these heroes. Level 3 Lord Commissar. Level 8 Inquisitors down. Level 8 Lord General right here. Level 4 Warlock. Level 6 Farseer. And a level 4 Warp Spider Exarch down at the end. There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Big thanks to these players for taking part in a faction war. The Tenso for getting this replay to me. And I'll see you guys next time.